Alright, hello. So, and what we're doing today is we're going to take a step back and talk more about our embouchure and our tone for clarinet and our tone voicing. So what we're first going to do is we're going to take our mouthpiece and barrel from our clarinet. We're going to work on more of like a tone and embouchure check. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our mouthpiece and barrel and we're going to blow. Make sure you have a good embouchure. You should get like a F sharp on it. So if you have a tuner, make sure you have it out. That way you can check. And if it's too high, like if the note is too high, then you want to loosen your embouchure up. If it's too low, then you're going to want to tighten your embouchure a bit more. You want it to be just right. So it should sound like this. Alright, now I know that y'all have checked. Make sure that's right, it's good. Now we're going to move on to the next thing. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our mouthpiece and barrel and we're going to put it on with the rest of our clarinet's body. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go from open G. We're going to do the open G and go all the way down, concert S scale all the way down to our low F. If you want, go ahead, since we're going to be on open G, go ahead and put these fingers down to help you with your tone better. Alright, so let's try it. So it should be. Alright, let's try it one more time. Ready? Great. Alright, now let's move on to the next step. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go from our low F to our C with the register key. So make sure you're going to have that key. And we're going to slur. No tonguing, we're going to slur up. So it should be like this. Good. That's how it should be. If your notes sound weird, like if they don't sound right, if they sound like higher than what they should be, your embouchure is probably too tight, or you're just playing too sharp. So you're going to want to make sure your embouchure is a little bit loose. If it sounds really low, like if it sounds like that, you're going to want to tighten up your embouchure, or else you're going to sound flat. So if you sound really flat, you could sound like the next note. So your E could sound like an E flat, and that's not good. So let's try it one more time, going from our low F to our C with register, slurring. Beautiful. Alright, now let's go to our next step. Alright, so what I want to try now is going from our low F directly to the high C. It's the same fingering as a C. Just pop the register. If your embouchure is good, it should just go naturally. So it should be like this. Now making it go from register to back to low, that's a different story. It's kind of hard to do that. But literally all you have to do is, I should be able to come behind you while you're playing the low F and just be able to tap the register key, and your C should come out perfectly. If your embouchure is good and your tone is good. So it should be like this. So it should be like that. Once that's good, you'll be a lot better on your tone on clarinet. Alright, now let's go to our final step. Alright, our final step is going from our C with register all the way up to our high C. Now it is kind of tricky to do, because that's whenever it starts getting really high on clarinet. That C is right before the altissimo register, which is a whole different story. Altissimo register that's all about embouchure and tone and air. So we're going to try C with register all the way up to high C. So we're literally just going up. Your high C will be your F with the register key. So it should be like this. Good. Now, if your notes don't start to come out at G and A, the C with register and the D with register, that means your embouchure isn't tight enough to be able to push them out. You're leaking air somewhere. And higher note, the higher you go, the more air you have. You have to have a better embouchure, or else those high notes are just not going to come out. What I would practice doing is, if you are having trouble with the G and the A with register, just try playing C, regular C. Do the same thing with how you did with the F to the C. Just pop the register key. Clearly my clarinet's not wanting to do it, but once you keep on doing that and get them, it'll be a lot easier going up. So let's try that C to C one more time. Alright, beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go from embouchure to more of our tonguing placement. Alright, so with our tonguing, we're going to start without the instrument. So what you do is, you're going to say T. You're going to do T, but you're going to keep it continuous, on continuous airstream. So it should be like T, T, T. Alright, do that with me. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. T, 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 T. Alright, now what we're going to do is, I want you to look at your lips. You should make a cooling soup, like if you're blowing on soup to make it cold and cool it off. We're going to do that, and what we're going to do is, alright, and what we're going to do is, we're going to keep a continuous airstream with that cooling soup aperture, and we're going to say T with continuous airstream. So it should be T, 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 T. Alright, now do that with me. We're going to do it 8 times. Alright, ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, I lost count, but everyone sounded good. Let's practice that more on your free time. It will help you with your clarinet voicing a lot more. Let's move on to our next step. Alright, so our next step is, whenever you're looking for your placement for the reed, practice with your thumbnail. So like with your, here, let me put this down. With your thumbnail, you're going to want like the middle. That should be where your reed, that's where you should insert your reed. It's like right there, right in the middle. That's where your bottom lip should hit the reed. And your top lip should be on, right above it on the top of your mouthpiece, obviously. But your reed, your placement should be right here in the middle of the fingernail, to help you with your reed when we put in your mouth. Now let's bring the instrument into place with it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, we're going to bring our instruments with it and sustain, do that T sound. So imagine you read your fingernail and put it in your mouth, and let's do it on C, and keep your airstream continuous. So you should start the note and you shouldn't stop, just keep your airstream. So it should be like this. Keep your tongue at the top of the reed. Immediately you start the note with the tongue. So it should be, yeah, just like that. Now I want y'all to try. Alright, good. Now if you squeak, it's okay. It probably means like you either hit the reed too, well, not hit the reed, your embouchure was a little bit too tight and you were too close to like the reed, like you had it too tight in it. You probably also were near the tip, so you want to be more down on your reed. So probably like in the middle right here is the best place to have your bottom lip, because you don't want to be too far up, because then yeah, like will squeak. Obviously it didn't squeak that time, but it will most likely will squeak. You don't want it too far down or else you're gonna squeak. You just want to have it just right. Alright, let's try that T with a continuous air stream one more time. Ready? Good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, except you're going to play. What we're going to do is we're going to do that a continuous of 4 times. So on C, you're going to do the same thing like we just did, but 4 times. All right, ready? 1, 2, ready, go. All right, good. Now I want you all to do it by yourselves. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. All right, sounds pretty good. If you're having trouble, don't be afraid to ask. This is the beginning. We want you to ask questions in the beginning. That way, whenever you advance more ahead, you're not behind. We want you to learn it in the beginning, the right way, not the wrong way, because then it just gets harder whenever you try to relearn and further on. All right, that should be it. If you have any questions, just ask. But yeah, y'all are getting pretty good at this.